Hello everyone, I'm Ann McKee, the Mississippi Storyteller. Well, I have more stories for you today. My husband says I'm full of it, and I tend to agree. But I do love history, especially our history in Mississippi, featuring Meridian and Lauderdale County. So today, I'm back in 1924. It is the last public hanging in Mississippi. It took place at Lauderdale County Jail. You see, there was a terrible thing that happened. There was a murder, and Mr. Frank Atkinson and Mr. Greer was part of this murder that took place. And they had to pay. The reason that the murder took place is because of whiskey. And on the day of their hanging, Mr. Atkinson said, "If it had not been for whiskey, I would not have committed this crime." And he appealed to everyone there in the room and everyone that could hear him. Stay away from whiskey. It will ruin your life. You see, he was a young man, Mr. Atkinson. He had a nice wife and children. He had a good job on the railroad. He's buried in Rose Hill Cemetery here in Meridian. So come out there the last Saturday in September and see Brendan Harper portray him in such dramatic terms. But today I would like to tell you a little more about that time. It was the last public hanging. And so Governor Whitfield came over by train just to interview these two men to make sure he felt comfortable that they were guilty. So he approved the hanging. And then the two men, well, they both professed faith. And they were baptized there in the jail, in the jail there at the tub, right there in their cell. And their families were crushed, but they must pay for their crime. Some have said that there was a men's quartet who sang during that time of the hanging, that very minute. Sheriff Kennedy had the two men stand back to back, and he pulled the lever, and they both went to eternity. It was a hard time, it was a sad time, but it was justice. And I think many people learned that at that day that if you do the crime, you must pay the price. And it happened right here in Lauderdale County Jail at the courthouse in Meridian, Mississippi. So I urge you to come out and actually see the portrayal of that event and know that our society doesn't tolerate murder. So it's a little heavy story today, but it's a true story. And I just wanted to share it with you. Thanks for listening.